Let's make whipped body butter using dandelion oil. We're going to use 2 bowls for this process. In the first bowl, we're going to measure out our hard butters. So we have a cup of shea butter and a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And we're going to set these over a double boiler and let them melt. And into our other bowl, our mixing bowl, we'll measure out our herbal oils, our dandelion oil. Okay, so now that we've got our butters measured out, we're going to put them over a double boiler. Don't need a lot of water. You don't want a big roaring boil. You just want a little bit of steam, just enough to melt your butters without getting them too hot. And while that is melting, we will measure out our dandelion oil for the next step. Now we're adding in 1/2 cup of dandelion oil. I made this oil from dried dandelion blossoms that I infused into apricot oil for 6 weeks, and I show this step in a previous video. You'll be able to find the instructions for dandelion oil on my YouTube channel. So now we have our herbal oil in our mixing bowl that we'll add the melted butters to when we're done. I like to use a stand mixer with the, I don't even know what it's called, the dough attachment maybe? I call it the body butter mixer, but you could also use one of those handheld immersion blenders. Our butters are melted, so now we can take it off the heat and add it to our oil. Scrape it off, get as much goodness as you can, and this next step, we put it in the freezer. Before we put our body butter in the freezer though, we're going to add a little arrowroot powder, and that's optional. You don't have to add the arrowroot powder, but it does help with the slip and the absorption of your body butter into skin, so I like to add it. And then you just sort of smush it around and, I don't know, smash it on the sides, get it to mix in. It eventually does. So you can see it's dissolved into it now. I didn't record this next step, but you pop your body butter, the whole mixing bowl, right in the freezer until it gets a nice solid consistency. Not too hard, you still want to be able to mix it, but not liquid anymore. It helps if you scrape the sides down every now and then because they start to freeze on the side of the container. You can see this one's almost there. It's still a little bit liquidy. It's not totally solid yet, but it's definitely changed consistency. Okay, now it is ready to be blended. So put it in your mixing bowl stand or use your immersion blender and just keep blending. At first it seems like it's going to be kind of hard, but just keep blending and soon you'll have this whipped, airy texture. Now you have a beautiful whipped body butter. You can either take your spatula and fill your jars, tapping down the air bubbles as you go, or you can fill a piping bag and pipe it into your jars. I prefer this method because it doesn't get the sides of my jars greasy, and also you can make cute little designs and little flower blossoms on the top, and I don't know, maybe it's the baker in me. I just think it's the cooler of the 2 methods. Either way, you have to tap down the air bubbles and keep refilling as you go. But now you have everything you need to make your own dandelion whipped body butter. I hope you do, and let me know. Any questions, comments, and if you make it, enjoy.